Yeah, yeah. Good evening, all. Right. Before I start, can anyone please confirm whether my voice is clear? Right. Fine. In the last, in the yesterday, like demo session, right? I was briefing you about this Azure data engineer, right? So, data engineer responsible for smooth data flow from the source to destination. With the help of cloud services, will work on the data and make it structured and useful. Data engineer preparing data, cleansing data, transforming and processing the data. Preparing data, cleansing data, transforming data, and processing the data, right? Yes. So data scientist strategizes for the future. Data analyst summarizes the past. So this data scientist analyze the data, identify the patterns, recommendations for the future. Data analyst analyze the data, summarizes the data of the past, visualizing the data. Data engineer does all this groundwork for the data scientist and analyst, right? Yes. Data engineer, what are the sources from where sources of the data? What is the format of the data? How to transform the data? And what is the destination of the data? Right? Yes. Azure data engineer, right? The role of Azure data engineer, right? Data flow architecture design. He has to create data warehouse creation, ETL, extract, transform, and load. Data monitoring, right? Data monitoring. Data security, yes. Collaboration and communication means communication with this data scientist and communication with the business teams. Has to have knowledge on this analytics and automation. Azure data engineering products. I was just briefing you about Azure data engineering products, right? Azure SQL, Azure Data Lake, Azure Synapse Analytics, Azure Data Factory, Azure Databricks, Azure Cosmos DB, Azure Streaming, and Azure Key Vault. Azure SQL, right? It is a cloud or DBMS. It's a cloud or DBMS database of Microsoft. In Azure, it is for OLTP. It is for OLTP, right? Online transactional processing. OLTP systems captures end user transactions. OLTP system captures end user transactions. It is not for data warehouse, right? Azure SQL is a cloud or DBMS for OLTP. It's not for data warehouse, right? Azure Data Lake. Some distributed file system with unlimited data storage in the cloud, right? HDFS, Hadoop distributed file system on-premise DFS. Azure Data Lake is cloud DFS. It's a cloud DFS, distributed file system, right? Yes. A repository of large varieties of structured and unstructured and semi-structured, right? So yes, yesterday I was briefing you about this, right? Cloud storage provides some benefits. Unlimited data storage supports all varieties of data, structured, semi-structured, unstructured, and supports all formats of data, right? Yes. So I'm expecting a cloud or DBMS, the two for data warehouse, That too, I'm expecting parallel processing. There is nothing but Azure Synapse Analytics, right? So Azure Synapse. Here we have a database called Azure Synapse SQL Pool DB, right? What is Synapse DB? Cloud data warehouse of Azure, right? When to go for Azure Data Lake, when to go for Synapse. Both are in the same place of data warehouse, right? When to go for Azure Synapse, if data is structured, and when to go for Azure Data Lake, if data is unstructured and semi-structured. Azure Data Factory, right? Azure Data Factory. Yes. Azure Data Factory, right? If you got OLTP systems at one side, data warehouse, right? So it is going to extract the transactions, extracting the data from this OLTP systems to data warehouse. So ADF, it acts as an integration service between the OLTP systems and data warehouse systems, right? So all the transactions, how to bring these transactions into warehouse systems means ETL. That is that too. I need a ETL on cloud. That is what ADF. We have got other ETLs like Informatica, Data Stage, Talent. All these are on premises. But I want a ETL on the cloud. That is what ADF. Simple cloud ETL. Cloud ETL is nothing but ADF. Okay. Using ADF, we can connect with cloud databases, non-cloud databases, NoSQL databases. Means it can capture data. Using ADF, we can extract and dump, extract data and pump the data into data lake or Synapse, and then perform transformations. And then we can perform transformations. Here it is ETL only, but our working style will be ELT. ETL means extract, transform, and load. But working style is ELT, extract, load, and transform. Extract, load, and transform. ETL for small volumes of data. For small volumes of data. ELT for huge volumes of data. So, yes. So what are Azure SQL, Cloud RDBMS? Not for, it's only for OLTP, not for data warehouse, not for analytics, not for batch processing. Synapse, Cloud RDBMS for data warehouse, for analytics, for batch processing, for parallel processing. Azure Data Lake, Cloud Distributed File System, unlimited data storage, parallel processing. Azure Data Factory, Cloud ETL, data integration service. Okay. Okay, for example, Azure Data Engineer. For example, daily 5 TB data is coming. daily 5 TB data is coming, right? Where the data to be stored? Where the data to be stored? In OLTP. OLTP means what are the OLTP systems in Azure? Azure SQL is one, or Azure Cosmos DB. Azure Cosmos DB is a kind of NoSQL, right? NoSQL DB, NoSQL database. Cosmos DB. Now what you do now using ADF? Now using ADF, we connect to Azure SQL. We connect to Azure SQL or Cosmos DB. Cosmos DB, right? And we extract data. Yes. And we extract data and dump into Azure Data Lake, right? And dump into Azure Data Lake. Yes. For example, my client is expecting the result by 10 p.m., right? I will run the process by 7 p.m. I'll run the process by 7 p.m., right? Mostly by 8 p.m. Extraction might be completed, right? Yes, extraction might be completed. Data is loaded into data lake. Data is loaded into data lake, right? Yes. Again, I use ADF to perform transformations. Right? So ADF connecting to Azure SQL, extract data and dump into data lake. That is first one. Now, again, I use ADF to perform transformations on that data. What kind of transformations? What kind of transformations? Aggregation transformations. Aggregation transformations, right? Yes. Before aggregation transformations, what is required? Data cleaning. Data cleaning. Data cleaning. Again done by ADF. Again done by ADF. So here, example. Check this example, right? Azure SQL, Cosmos DB. Azure SQL, Cosmos DB. ADF, extracting data to Azure Data Lake. So this ADF extracting data from Azure SQL or Cosmos DB into Azure Data Lake. And from there, transformation again by using ADF only. Transform using ADF. Using ADF. After transformation again, store in Synapse DB. And from there, visualization. So as an ADF developer, you will be interacting with the Azure services, right? Azure products, visualizations or reports using the Power BI, right? Or using Tableau. Using Power BI and using Tableau. So this up to this Azure Data Lake. Observe. Up to this, up to Azure Data Lake. What has happened? What is happened, right? Up to this Azure Data Lake, what is happened? Extract and load. Extract and load. Up to this Azure Data Lake. Here you just extracted it and loaded it into, yes, Azure Data Lake. Cleaning data. Here cleaning data, right? Cleaning the data means transformation. Performing aggregation. Again, it is also a transformation. Performing aggregation means again transformation. Final results stored in Synapse DB. So just I'm giving this information about these products, right? Azure products. You may ask a query, right? Using ADF from Azure SQL to data lake. Why can't you directly bring it into Synapse DB? Why to data lake again from data lake to Synapse DB? Why directly I cannot load into Synapse DB? Why directly I cannot load into Synapse DB? Because Synapse is a warehouse. Synapse is a warehouse. Means it has tables. It has tables. Tables means tables have because Synapse is a warehouse. Means it has tables. Tables have constraints. Tables have constraints like primary key, like primary key, foreign key. So they are going to have constant like primary key, foreign key, and lot other indexes, right? And lot other indexes. When the table has got a lot of indexes, when the table has got lot of indexes, at the time of loading, the loading will be slow. The loading will be slow. Ganesh, any query you got?
Yeah, yes, sir. The thing is, you have mentioned tables have constraints in the warehouse. So will it have a constraints, lot of constraints?
Constraints means primary key, foreign key constraints, right?
Yeah,
And lot of other indexes also will be there, right?
for warehouse, huh?
So because Synapse is a warehouse, it has tables. Tables,
Okay.
tables have constant like primary key and a lot of other indexes, right? When the table has got lot of indexes while time of loading, right? So here,
Hmm.
why data is coming into this from Azure SQL, right? To Azure Data Lake. Why I'm not taking it to Synapse DB means loading will take lot of time if they have got indexes. So what I will do,
Yeah.
so Azure Data Lake is like a it's a data storeroom, I can say, where the
Okay.
entire data, all the raw data, you will bring it. Raw data after bringing, right? If you want to perform some transformation only on a particular data of this data lake, it is going to take particular data it takes and transforms it. Apply some business logic and just load it into this Synapse DB. Not you have got all the data in that total data is dumping into Azure Data Lake. From that, the required data you take and you will transform it. For any transformation you are going to apply on that, again, that will be loaded into Synapse DB. Again, from that, you visualizations you are going to do for that. You are not going to perform the transformations on the entire data, right? So whatever based on the logic, you are going to perform.
Okay. But generally, warehouse won't have the this much constraints, right? Also.
What is it?
Generally, the warehouse, it won't have more constraints like a primary, foreign, index, and all.
Generally, tables will have this constant, right? Synapse,
Tables will have, but warehouse,
yeah, yeah.
I'm not.
Tables, I'm talking about tables have constants.
Okay, okay,
The loading will be slow, right? Always, so always I am going to use a staging area. Always, even people from ETL, always I want a staging area like data lake, like data lake, so that loading happens faster. See, what I'm going to do is simply just observe this process. Simply, I dump or load data or load the raw data into data lake, and perform cleaning. This is important. And perform cleaning, removing the unwanted data. And the cleaned data, I will pass to the warehouse. That is Synapse DB. Example. In warehouse, here in this warehouse, right? In warehouse, I won't keep the entire data. I won't keep the entire data. In warehouse, I won't keep the entire data because, for example, 5 TB is the data value. Example, 5 TB is the data value, right? If it is the data value. Monthly, how much?
300. Sorry, 1500. 150.
5 TB means 3 into 30 into 150, right? 150 TB.
Yeah.
150 TB is the data value. Monthly 150 TB is the data value. Yearly, it will cross petabytes. Even Synapse cannot handle that much of data. So what we do? So the processed results, that too recent history, not recent transaction, a recent history. I will maintain in Synapse. I'll maintain in Synapse. And remaining data in data lake. And remaining data in data lake. I said right, data lake, right? Is like a, yes. Is like a data storeroom or I'll keep all the data in data lake. So how much data required? How much data required, right? Yes. I will take and process and keep in Synapse. Again, for example, from the Synapse. My manager cannot understand. Synapse results. He can understand the visualizations. Using like Power BI, using Tableau. So the visualization developers are connecting with Synapse DB are connecting with Synapse DB. And they provide visualization reports. Here, as here ADF developer, right? You are involving in two areas. Your area of developer, you are involving in two areas. First one, OLTP systems. From OLTP systems, ADF is going to extract and is going to dump into this data lake. This one. Here what ADF is doing? Extract or load. Extract or load. Simply ADF is what? Cloud ETL. Extracting, transforming, and loading, right? Yes. Data lake. Next, what is the second one? From data lake again. From data lake, again ADF to Synapse DB. To Synapse DB, right? Yes. Cleaning or transformation. Okay, this work done by this area. So two times set, what is extracting, loading, cleaning, or transformation. Azure Databricks. So I was talking about ADF, right? But ADB, Azure Databricks. General Databricks, General Databricks, if I talk. General Databricks. What they do? Provides a Spark cluster. Provides Spark cluster in cloud. General Databricks provides Spark cluster in cloud. Spark cluster in cloud, right? So what is Spark? It is a high-speed execution model. It is execution model to process big data with high speed. It has got in-memory computation, very high-speed processing, supports massive MMP, right? Massive parallel processing. It's 100 times faster than the normal disk processing, right? As Spark. So, right. Who is providing this Databricks? Databricks, right? Spark cloud cluster with auto scaling feature I want, right? In Databricks, I want a Spark cloud cluster with auto scaling feature. Today, if we keep on like auto scaling feature is important, right? On premises and cloud premises. In on premises, every time we need to scale it, right? The data centers, right? It is a big task. But here in cloud, we have got the feature of auto scaling, right? Automatically depending upon the incoming data, auto scaling. So Azure Databricks, right? Spark cluster with auto scaling and compatible with all Azure data storage services, right? It is a Spark cluster. It is a Spark cluster with auto scaling, feature, auto scaling feature, compatible with all Azure data storage services. Normal Databricks, okay, it is providing cluster, but it won't be compatible with Azure storage services. So, but Azure Databricks, it is compatible with all Azure data storage services, what? Yes. Still, we have got some, I'll be discussing some other components like Cosmos DB. Cosmos DB, right? I can say it is a NoSQL database, NoSQL database, right? In the cloud. And even we have got Azure Key Vault for securities, for username and password, for policy certificate, for policy key, right? And the kind of security information we keep in, right, in Key Vault. Azure streaming, we have got the concept of Azure streaming. Directly, ADF cannot stream data or extract data from the streaming sources. So that we have got Azure streaming. Yes. So a data engineer, Azure data engineer should be able to work with all kinds of data, structured, unstructured, even streaming data. The streams are very complex to capture as they are getting generated at a very high rate of speed. So if we take an example, right? So LinkedIn it is generating, right? 3 trillion transactions for every 10 seconds. So I require a special system. With how much speed the streams are generated, with the same speed, I need to capture them, right? So we need how much speed the streams with the same speed, the streams has to be captured. For this, we have streaming systems. So in Azure, we have what? Azure streaming. Two advantage Azure streaming, right? To capture high speed streams and to perform micro batches. Batch and micro batch. Batch means 1 hour or 1 day, it's a batch. Micro batch means for every 1 minute or every 10 seconds, I want to update. Okay. So these are the Azure SQL, Azure Data Lake, Synapse Analytics, Data Factory, Databricks, Cosmos DB, Streaming, and Key Vault. These are the products. So as a ADF developer, you will be interacting with all this, most of these Azure services. So you need to have some knowledge about what are these, right? Fine. So next I'll be discussing about building blocks of ADF. Before we go with the actual practical part, you need to know about the building blocks of ADF, like pipelines, activities, data sets. Okay, fine. This is the course content I'm going to discuss, right? Azure Data Factory, pipeline, linked service, data sets, activities, triggers, integration runtime, source control, global parameters, okay, data flows, area, we'll see lot of examples, practical examples, right? Nearly 50 examples I'll be discussing on this. Coming to the Databricks, will be given knowledge and basic knowledge of big data, Spark, some basics of this cloud computation, basics of Azure, and coming to this Azure Databricks and Databricks cluster management and Databricks utilities, Databricks integration with Blob, Azure Data Lake Storage Gen 2, and SQL, Azure SQL, Synapse, and Snowflake. Handled with multiple file formats like CSV, JSON, Parquet, Excel, XML, ORC, and Avro files. Databricks data batch processing, historical data load, incremental data load, data transformations, aggregations, joins, windows, Databricks streaming API, Databricks Lakehouse, workflows in Databricks, and Azure Synapse. Right? Azure Synapse Analytics, Azure Storage, account integration with Azure, right? Fine. So this is the course content. You can check it once. So people who want only ADF, right? So 1.5 month is the duration for it. The course fee is 5,000, and people who want all the three products, ADF, Azure Databricks with PySpark, and Synapse. These three, right? So it takes 2.5 months to 3 months. So the course fee will be 12,000 for it. You can check this. So yes, so tomorrow, right? The link will be going to change. So if you try to get enrolled to get the new link to your mail ID. So any other queries? So one more thing, let me make it clear once again, right, about the timings for the. I said yesterday also I was saying, right, before you go with the payment. As of now, right, for the first 3 days to 1 week, first 1 week, like the class will be at 5 p.m., but later it starts at 6 p.m. For the first 1 week, it will be at 5 p.m., but later it starts at 6 p.m. 6 to 7 will be the Monday to Friday, right? You will be getting the session videos of each and every session, clear notes, a WhatsApp group, right? And interview questions, right? Any other queries, right? Anyway, so tomorrow the link will be changing. So everyone get enrolled. We'll be discussing everything. Everything you'll be understanding point to point. I'll be explaining. Yes. Any other query, right? Okay.
Yeah, I have. So, can I
Yes.
ask?
Yes. Go ahead.
Ah, so in this course, you're going to cover only ADF, right?
Hmm.
But whether it will be only basic level or intermediate level or expertise level, because you mentioned it is 45 days course for only for ADF alone, right?
Hmm.
So I want to know whether it is you will make it as expertise level what it is. Or,
See, ADF, see, I said it's a 3 months course, right? ADF, ADB, and Synapse. So if
yeah.
taking data engineering, right? Azure Data Factory, Azure Databricks, and Synapse. It's a 3 months course. So for ADF, it will be taking off of the time I'll be spending with Azure Data Factory. 1.5 month, right? So it will be total in brief, I'll be discussing, right? I said we'll be discussing a lot of things here, even in the practical part, right? Nearly the tasks you see, right? All these are the tasks, ADF exercises, tasks. Means that what I'm going to show you, right? All this. 50 are there.
Okay.
Data flows. This all are belongs to data. ADF. All this is a practical part, right? Creating variables, creating activities, copy activity, how to use until activity, data flows, all this 50 I'm going to show you, right?
Okay.
Okay. How to debug the pipelines, how to monitor the pipelines, how to use Azure DevOps boards. Yes, how to get global parameters, how to create alerts and rules, right?
Okay.
Fine. So it is
So,
in brief, in depth, we'll be discussing, right? It's not an okay.
okay, sir.
So
And
yes, yeah,
you cover Azure SQLs also, right? The first you mentioned SQL, data
yes,
flake,
yes,
data
yes,
lake.
yes. I'll provide that knowledge also. Yes.
Okay, because I'm from a SQL background, so just I want to know what any of the things you're going to cover, and what you are going to suggest if I'm a SQL based guy and I'm having experience around 5 years, 5 to 7 years.
So
What you can say?
previously all are on premises. Now if everything if you're moving into the cloud, right?
Yeah.
So
Yes.
on premises again, I said in yesterday in the previous session I was showing you the drawbacks, right? So on premises advantage of cloud over on premises, we need to set up our own hardware, OS installation, purchasing database license, installing database server, designing database objects. To maintain all this, we require separate team, hardware team, operation system team, network team, security team. But everything in the cloud premises, no need to maintain all this. We need to no need to maintain all that infrastructure, no need of any licenses, all this, right? So in this, so yeah.
Oh,
So how everything how we are going to perform. this is totally ADF deals with ETL. People
Okay.
already you should have knowledge on this informatica talent data stage, right? But
Yes,
they're
yes, yes.
on yes, on the all the on premises.
Okay. And to learn this, what are the things that we need to have in a laptop, and any softwares we need to install, or what it is?
See, for
How
ADF,
we?
right? No, you are not going to write any coding in the chain of ADF. In if people going for a Databricks, right? I'm saying PySpark, little basics of if you are going for Azure Databricks, some basic Python knowledge is required. Basic SQL is required for SQL,
Okay.
basic SQL and basic for if people going for Databricks, right? With PySpark, Python basics are required.
Okay.
That
Is
too,
any
yeah,
soft?
yes.
No,
Whatever
no. You,
about the practical parts of everything, I'll be briefing you. Not a worry.
okay. Including the softwares also you will share, right?
Yes, everything I'll.
Okay.
Okay, fine.
So the recorded sessions also will be there. You people will share, right? Also?
Yeah, each and every session recording you are going to get for all this.
Okay. So totally for a week, there will be 5 days classes, or
Monday to Friday. Yes.
okay. Okay.
Okay,
Okay, sir.
fine.
Yeah.
So I'm stopping for now. We'll continue tomorrow. So get enrolled. We'll be discussing everything in brief about all this, right? Yeah, fine.
Thanks.
Thank you all for your time. Thank you. Meet you tomorrow.